Okay. So we have our commentators ready. We have our guys in the booth ready. Our contestants have told me they're ready. We will see. So with that, let's roll the video and meet the teams.
Globalocity, we know business.
Racing to bring home the coveted Globalocity Gnome. Each team is made up of 2 people with an existing relationship. The grandparents. Meet Joe and Patty Trotty, parents to 6, grandparents to a baker's dozen. Joe stayed home from last year's missions conference to count his bees. While he was home in the easy chair, Patty signed him up for this year's race, and here they are. Already professional world travelers, the Trotties are favorites to win the race just because of their vast experience in playing games. They placed 3rd in Couples Jeopardy, 2nd place in Dave Ramsey's Envelope Challenge. It is almost as if they were born for this, and they are determined to bring home the Globalocity Gnome. The in-laws. Meet Megan and Leah Draper. Brought together by an act of God, these 2 sisters-in-law are thick as thieves. Megan is known for stealing bases or exposing an opponent's weak ball handling skill. And Leah stole Eric's heart, which makes these 2 dangerous on a global scale. They are looking to steal the limelight and scratch and claw their way to victory. In it to win it is their motto, and this dynamic duo will not be denied. The Friends. Meet Brian Hatton and Eric Westergren. These 2 were voted most likely to be embarrassed on national TV. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time is what got them signed up as participants. Brian has competed before, with mixed reviews. Eric joins the games as a rookie, but has been training against some of the fiercest competition in preparation for this year's race. I am sure they will be doctoring up some way to win the coveted crown. The father and son. Meet Brandon and Andrew Schrock. Genetics makes this team a deadly combination. While we aren't sure how deep that gene pool really is, it is their belief that teamwork will pay off. Entering a strict regimen of training to overcome certain fears, this father and son duo have a history of racing. Although as a family they have always had trouble picking a winner, he is hoping this year will be different. Brandon has always wanted to be a part of the amazing race, and Andrew is here because he refused to eat his vegetables. The younglings. Meet Maggie and Julia. This team was given the option of competing in the amazing race or spending the weekend at Grandma's, binge-watching Murder, She Wrote on Netflix. Maggie and Julia are both a master of disguise, or is that master of da guise? Either way, with such skills as walking and texting at the same time, smuggling gummy bears into church, genetics may play a part of this team's success or demise. Only time will tell.
All right. Let's get ready for MAC Amazing Race 2019. So, contestants, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Now, we are short a team, as you guys may have noticed. Unfortunately, due to some family issues, they were not able to be here this evening. So, we are actually going to take the rare opportunity and open it up to the audience for one more team. Do we have any volunteers at this point? Come on. We need 2 contestants. I like the Andersons. I'm game for that. We good with that? Are the Andersons good for that? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. A little team participation. The shirts might be a little tight. I'm just saying. They were different sized people. All right. Well, at this point in time, I have a very special guest I would like to introduce. He is our amazing, awesome Globalocity gnome, Mr. Henry. Throughout the evening, you're going to see him pop in and out as he continues to entertain this evening. Thank you, Henry, for volunteering for this, buddy, or being voluntold, however you want to look at it. Okay. So, we're going to kick this off with our first contest. So at this point in time, everybody gets a clue. Hold on. Okay. You may now open your clue. As you guys are reading, I will read it to everybody else. Contestants, for this challenge, you will need to find your color-marked bag at the back of the sanctuary. You must then search through the contents for a gold coin. Once you and your teammate have located that coin, you need to race to the front of the sanctuary and stand on the finish mat, which is right there. Both contestants, I must specify, both contestants must be on it in order to finish that leg. The first team that gets to the finish line will receive a rare prize. The last team may be eliminated. So, as we go through the leg of the race, please remember to read your clues carefully and always follow the rules. There will be judges for each contest to help with any questions and to monitor your progress. If you fail to complete a challenge or have broken a rule, you will incur a time delay penalty that may cost you that challenge. Have fun, be safe, and may the best team win. Go! Okay. Let's see what we got going on back here. I think the red team's off to an early. Oh, I don't know. I see some. There's some fighting going on. There's some fighting going on. Make sure you have your own bag. They are marked. We got any winners yet? All right! We have our first team to win, the Trotties. Or should I say the grandparents? Yeah. Woohoo! All right, if you guys don't mind stepping off to the side, we've got to make room for the next team, who may or may not be coming. Oh, here we go, here we go! It's the father-son team. Woohoo! All right, congratulations, you guys are in second. All right, this is a better challenge than I expected. I like it. Good work, Sarah. Good work. It could be anywhere in those bags, guys. Yeah, one coin. That's all it is. One little gold coin. Woo! Gonna get the youngins in here? I don't know. The hillbillies seem to be doing all right over there. All I can say is I'm glad I don't have to clean this up. All right. You got to lay it on the mat. You got to lay it on the mat. There you go. All right. Thank you. All right. Joe and Patty Trotty, as the winners of this leg, you two have earned to take Ted's spot on any given Saturday. All right. Now, blue and green team. Now, if you remember correctly, I said that this could be an elimination challenge. So, given that neither one of you finished the challenge, I really can't eliminate both of you. So, you guys get to carry on. All right. So, if you guys don't mind having a seat, we're going to take it on over to our commercial break.
Yeah. Well, I mean, traveling through Heathrow Airport with 4 young children, I think that's a pretty special skill that can be used on Amazing Race. But I can do the worm. So in tight spaces, I can use the worm to kind of get through.
We're going to have to see that.
Oh.
Something that you look forward to as you get ready to head back to the States could be something you personally are excited about, or your whole family, like you talk about it and say, oh, I can't wait till we get back. I want to have a cheeseburger, or I don't know, whatever kind of thing. And then something that you maybe don't look forward to coming back.
Yeah, so leaving Germany and coming to the U.S., something that I look forward to is good Mexican food. That's hard to find in Germany, so good Mexican food is probably number 1 on that list.
Okay.
And then probably after that, there are some conveniences about life in the U.S. that are really fun, and the people, of course, the people.
All right.
And then the things I don't look forward to coming back to the U.S., there's a pace of life, a busyness about the U.S. that's hard to step right back into.
It did look like a pretty idyllic little village there, nestled in the mountains, so I could definitely understand. Yeah. What about heading back? Because it won't be too many more months, and you guys will all be sort of doing this in reverse and heading back to Germany.
Yeah, that's
things
right.
that you really look forward to going back, or things that you're kind of sad to leave behind?
Yeah. So things I'm looking forward to going back to Germany would include, everything's shut down on Sundays, so it just kind of makes it really nice. Our family goes on a hike in the woods, and there's like nice, clean, clear pathways in these, foresty hills that are all around us. I really look forward to that. And our town just looks like Hobbiton. I think it's a lovely place. But something I will miss, like I said, I'll miss some of those conveniences. It's nice to have a quiet Sunday afternoon where there's nothing else you can do. But there are times where it's like, oh, we ran out of milk. What do we do on this day, on Sunday? Those are a couple of things that we miss going back. And I will also miss just getting to freely use the language that I understand thoroughly all the time. So calling to make a doctor's appointment is always a challenge. So, yeah.
Some of those things we don't necessarily even think about, right? Yeah. That's a little more difficult. Okay, Doug, we're ready for challenge number 2.
All right. If I could have my contestants line back up here, please. All right, you guys will receive your second clue for the evening. You may open them and start reading them, but do not go until I say. All right, contestants, in this challenge, you must make your way to your first international missions destination, Mongolia. Once you have arrived, each team must choose one team member to complete this challenge. That team member must take an empty water jug and carry it to a water source. Look over here, guys. This water jug. No. Once filled to the line, which is on here, this line, you must then carry it all the way back up here. Set it back down in here and race to the mat, at which point in time you will receive your next clue. The first team will receive a rare and awesome prize. The last team may be eliminated. Contestants, go! Only one team member goes. You may need this one, Julia. I know, they tried cheating. Hey, Trotties, only one team member. One team member. Back up front, young lady. Gotta watch these people like a hawk, I swear. All right, who's winning? Looks like the Sharks are doing pretty good. Eric, how we doing over there, buddy? Oh, Joe Try's got it. All right, big guy. Man. Patty, join him. All right, you can set that down over here, buddy. You just said it's on the floor. On the floor. Let's not do it on the table. Thank you. Well done. Right. There's a reason why we have towels back there. That away. Overachiever. Here we go. Here we go. It's a race. It's a race. All right. All right. What? All right. It's down to the Youngins and the Andersons. All right, Jesse. Come on, Julia. Better run, buddy. Better run. Get on the mat. All right. Ah. Well done. Well done. You can, Julia, you can set that down over there. Wait, we'll take care of it. Okay. Actually, you're just shy of the line, too. So not only were you last, you didn't fill it all the way. So, unfortunately, with a clearly defined rule and coming in last place, I must eliminate you guys this time. I'm sorry, guys. Hey. All right.
Just warn it's really slick back.
Perfect. All right. So we're gonna be careful running through back there. It's a little slick. All right. At this point in time, contestants, you guys are no longer contestants. So if you guys don't mind going, thank you. Bye. Thank you guys so much. The Trotties, you guys have won the wonderful opportunity to take a photo with our gnome mascot this evening. We'll do that later. All right, you guys can have a seat. Thank you so much.
I'm not sure we've ever had a missionary who's come back and come from Black Forest Academy before. So this is a first for us. And you talked a little bit on Wednesday evening about the school and sort of its makeup and how it operates. One of the things that I think strikes people here in the States pretty hard is, wow, these are kids who are thousands of miles, many of them away from their parents for how long a period of time? What's a term for them?
Yeah, so the school year is in some ways similar to school years here in the U.S. School typically starts about the first week of September or end of October. And that's always a challenge to figure out, how do we get enough school days to have a good school year where they're getting to learn as they need to, but also get enough time with their parents, wherever their parents are stationed. So the way that the school handles that is by having longer breaks. So the winter break, Christmas, New Year's, is always 3 weeks long instead of like a shorter 2-week break. And over spring break, it's at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks sometimes, to make sure that they get a good enough time with their families at those points. So many of our parents who have sent their kids to board at Black Forest Academy do a great job of staying connected to their kids. Of course, it's so much easier to stay connected online, by Skype or by phone, whatever it might be. But there's a good number of parents who will make a point of coming out to see their kids, especially if they're in an athletic event or if they've got a performance that they're doing.
What do you see as sort of the impact on both the student and the parents? Because I'm guessing there are probably some positives about this as well.
Yeah, of course. So boarding is only in high school. So there's developmentally, they're at an age where they're learning and they're desiring to make connections with their peers. Not that they don't need those attachments and connections with their parents, but those connections with their peers are so important, especially as they're learning how to socialize and how to become themselves. And they model themselves much more based on the people who are their age mates or close to their age. So that's definitely a benefit. And there is challenges in that too. One of the benefits, but also a challenge, is learning how to take authority from people who aren't your parents. So you're living with boarding parents, you're living with RAs, people who are, maybe sometimes just 4 or 5 years older than you are, who are in a position of authority. And so that can be a challenge, but it's also good to kind of learn, how do I take responsibility for my actions and listen to people who are in positions of authority who aren't just my parents.
What do you hear from parents about the process on their end of things?
Yeah, parents sometimes have a hard time knowing exactly what's going on, and so parents are, there's a wide range of how engaged, not how engaged, but how they respond in those situations. There's some parents who talk to their kids every day. There's some parents who talk once a week, but they still stay pretty well engaged. And so what I hear from them sometimes is, that it's hard to kind of understand when their kids are complaining about the boarding parents or the rules that are at the school. When they're not there, it's hard to kind of picture what's going on at times. So getting a chance to visit throughout the school year is a really important way to address that.
And I think you all do such a great job of choosing carefully those house parents or dorm parents who are there. And talk a little bit about the relationship that they develop and how long they're there for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so boarding parents, all of our staff, we ask to be at the school at least 2 years, because you're developing relationships with kids in a middle school and high school age. They need kind of longer-term relationships. But in boarding, they ask that the boarding parents in particular stay at least 3 years to establish a good longer-term relationship with these kids. It's especially good if you get to have the same set of boarding parents all 4 years of high school. Of course, there's always transition, and that's one of the biggest challenges at the school, is the amount of turnover that happens.
I'm sure. We're going to talk just a little bit. I think you mentioned it Wednesday evening when you were talking about third culture, that the students who are there, this is really third culture for them. Can you tell a little bit about what that means, what it means to be third culture kids, and maybe even some of the positives, because I think there are a lot of positives for them being in that position.
Yeah, absolutely. There are definitely many positives about the third culture experience. So third culture was something that was started to be kind of studied by sociologists back in the 1950s. and became really popular kind of more in the 80s and 90s as a term that people would use more. It means that these are kids who have grown up in a culture different than their parents' culture. So the first culture being the culture of their parents, the second culture where they have grown up, and the third culture is the relationships that they have with people who are similar to them. And so that third culture is a sense of identity as being somebody who's lived in between worlds, and I identify with other people who've been like that much more easily than I can with people in either one of those other cultures. One of the great benefits of that is the ability to kind of adapt and to do really good perspective taking. So I'm able to kind of see other people's points of view really easily because I've learned how to do that throughout my life. That's one of the best. It's one of the best things that can come out of that experience. And there's a lot of people who've been in positions of authority and leadership. Our previous president's cabinet was filled with a lot of people who had that background, that experience, because of their ability to take different perspectives and adapt to new situations.
One of those skills that in the 21st century, certainly we talk about a lot, even here in America, the need to be able to adapt, communicate on a larger scale, all of those kinds of things. I think we've got some culture things that are going to be happening next. Doug, where are we headed?
All right, contestants, back up front, please. Woohoo! How we doing, guys? Everybody all right? A little worn out from that last one? That was a little more challenging. A little more physical, maybe? All right. Clue number 3. Contestants, on this leg of the race, your destination is the beautiful country of Mali. All the teams must race to the destination where you will meet with some local missionaries who will be teaching you a little bit about the local culture. Each team must learn to ask a question and respond correctly, speaking the national tongue. One teammate will ask a question, while the other must respond in the correct way in order to complete this challenge. The local missionaries will be judging based upon accuracy, enthusiasm, and willingness to participate. Once they have deemed that your task is complete, you will need to race back to the finish mat, where you will receive your next clue. Once again, the winners will receive an incredible prize. The last team to finish may be eliminated. Now, guys, we're going to do this one team at a time. You're going to go over there, but one team's going to have an opportunity. If you do not get it on that try, the next team gets an opportunity. Okay? You don't get to just keep going. All right? On your mark. Get set. Run, but, don't kill each other. Go! Nope. All right. Yep. Okay. All right. Next team. All right. Purple team, go.
When you get to Africa, you have to learn all about it. You're going to learn, my name is, what's your name?
Jesse.
My name is Jesse. Ned Tobo Ye Jesse.
Tobo. No.
Ne Toho. Ned Toho Ye Jesse.
Ne Toho Ye Jesse.
All right.
Yesu Be I Kanu.
Fantastic. Way to go, Andersons.
You're going to learn how to say
Both of you must be on the mat. All right.
Yesu be I kanu.
You're going to learn how to say my name is. What's your name? Andrew. My name is Andrew.
Ikanu. Yesu be Ikanu. Yesu be
Hey, gentlemen, did you touch the mat? Eric?
Andrew.
There you go. That was it. I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to. Well, we'll get to that. All right. So, the father-son team was last, right? What? This is a race. I mean, sometimes you got to get vicious. No, this is actually not an elimination round. You guys are good. So, now who hit the mat first, actually? Because I do believe the Andersons actually won that leg. I do believe, yeah. What happened, Trotties? What was that? All right. So, Andersons, thank you to our Globalocity sponsors. You guys have won a free trip to the bathroom. Complimentary toilet paper, soap, and hand washing materials. So, way to go. All inclusive. Oh. All right. You guys may have a seat. Back over to you guys.
I think probably most of us are familiar with what a school counselor does here in the United States, but your role in a boarding school may be a little bit different than what we might be used to. Can you talk a little bit about what your role in the academy is?
Yeah. Yeah, so school counseling in the U.S. Is a really important role. Oftentimes are working on preventive measures and kind of determining what are the needs of the student body, and then oftentimes not providing the ongoing regular weekly counseling for students. And that's different than how it is at Black Forest Academy because there's not many English-speaking or primarily English-speaking counselors. So we're really it in terms of the counseling needs for the students. So we provide a lot more kind of regular weekly hour-long sessions for the students than would typically happen in U.S. schools. We do try to be involved in preventive measures. We'll do some training on suicide prevention and things like that, and body safety, things like that may happen through a school counseling office in the U.S. too, but there are some differences.
There definitely present this challenge that you are with all of these students and their parents aren't anywhere around to be able to help them sort of make progress in their own social, personal life, those kinds of things. Same kind of difficulties for these students as what we might see here?
Yeah, a lot of the difficulties would be similar. Yeah, so there are students who are figuring out their own kind of self-image. There are students who might be working on performance stress, things like that might happen in schools here just as well. Relationship issues, just kind of figuring out how to...
I'm sure there's no boy-girl stuff happening there.
Never happens there, yeah. No, there's definitely sometimes some boy-girl stuff that happens there. There are some things that probably happen less often, but still happen at the school too, like substance use issues, things like that.
Here, I think a huge impact. Social media has such a huge impact on teens. Yeah. So lots of kinds of things that I think occur. We talk a lot in school about cyberbullying, or we talk a lot in school about the impact that social media has on self-esteem, all of those kinds of things. Same kind of impact there that you deal with, or do you feel like it's greater or lesser?
I think that the impact is there, kind of in a kind of global sense, that just what social media does to all of us. I don't see a whole lot of cyberbullying. There was, a couple years ago, some students who had started BFA memes where they would kind of, grab a picture, video of, it was usually staff and faculty who they would be mocking. And so there's less
that
cyberbullying
doesn't happen
with
here.
their fears. Right, of course not. But I would say probably the biggest challenge, and this is a unique challenge there, not that it can't happen, is our students are so connected internationally through social media, and oftentimes high schoolers have a sense of loyalty and care for other people that they may step into a role that's beyond the scope of what they should be doing. So if they've got a friend who's several countries away, who's complaining about how hard it is at their home life, and they're thinking about suicide and things like that, that's such a dangerous thing for high schoolers to take on. And when it comes into a counseling office and somebody's in a different country and there might be even speaking a different language, it's so challenging to kind of be able to address those things when they're connected by social media.
Is there a time when all of the parents are there, fall term starting or the in between break time? Is there a time that everybody is kind of on campus?
Yeah, the two times that may happen, it doesn't necessarily happen, would be the very beginning of the year and at the very end of the year around graduation. That all new parents of new students will all come at that time, and oftentimes parents will come in and with their kids. But if a kid has been there for a few years, they may just fly internationally without their parents.
You're good to go.
You're good to go. And there's lots of kids who are 14 years old, and they figured out how to navigate how to do bribes if you're in a Russian airport somewhere. So there could be unique challenges.
Whoa. Next unique challenge for us. What are we ready for, Doug?
All right. I know you guys had a wonderful meal earlier, so this next one's going to be a lot of fun. So, contestants, if I could have you guys back up front, please. That might come into factor, Jesse, just so you know. I don't know who devised these, but now that guy may be getting his kicks in right now. I'm just saying. Okay. Contestants, your next Mac Amazing Race destination is Germany. For this challenge, you will be encountering your very first detour, where you guys will get to choose which of the challenges you would like to do. So, only one team member gets to do this challenge, and it must be the team member who did not perform challenge number 2. So if you perform the water challenge, you don't do this one. The other person does. Fun rule. All right. So your 2 challenges are salty shingles or smoothie surprise. Salty shingles. You must eat an entire sleeve of saltine crackers with no water without spitting them out. And if you spit them out or feel the need to take a drink of water, you will incur a time penalty. Smoothie surprise. You must drink the entire smoothie of Mackenzie Harris's own creation without spitting it out or taking a drink of water. If you spit it out or take a drink of water, you will incur a time penalty. Once you have completed this challenge, you both must be back here at the finish line, where you will receive your next clue. This may be an elimination challenge. Yes, sir? You're about to find out. So, one or the other. You don't have to do both. You pick one or the other. But once you choose your challenge, you must stick to that challenge. On your mark, get set, go. You're going to Germany. Oh, yeah. Check out that smoothie. Attaboy, Brandon. Woohoo! The whole thing. Once you've completed it, get back up front. Once you've drank it, get up front. Both of you must be on the mat. There you go. Attaboy, fella. Hey, Brandon, you got a little something on your nose, buddy. You got a little something on your nose. I don't know. You're going to have to ask Mackenzie on that one. Woohoo! Both of you must touch the mat.
Okay.
Oh, rulings.
We had two that did not finish.
Who was the one that didn't finish?
The red team did not finish. The blue team did not finish. Which means we have to decide who actually drank the most.
Whose is whose?
This is the red team. This is the blue team. I say this one.
I'm going to say the red team actually did end up drinking just a. I mean, well, no, that's a one team member challenge. Okay, wow. I am honestly surprised everybody went for the smoothie, having zero clue what was in that thing. So I am proud of you all for taking that one. At this point in time, this was an elimination challenge. I am so sorry, Blue Team. Thank you guys for stepping in. I appreciate it.
We appreciate the fun. Yeah.
You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so Schrock family, you guys won that one. Way to come from behind, fellas. All right, so you guys get to pick any option of the front three pews next Sunday. All right, you guys can have a seat. Thank you so much.
Mackenzie, can you let them in on what was in the smoothie? It was completely digestible.
Avocados, kale, dill pickles with the juice, olives, and some random spices that Michael threw in.
Now you know. Kudos. I really thought somebody would go for those crackers. I'm going to be making a lot of chili here. Wednesday night, you talked about the idea that BFA was a safe place. I think you mentioned it several times. Can you explain what you meant by a safe place?
Yeah. So I think of BFA being a safe place in a few different ways. One, it's safe in that we, as a staff, make sure that everybody is screened well, that we have policies in place, that we are not going to be doing. We're not going to be interacting with kids in isolation, that there's visibility, that we've got accountability to make sure that that's going to be a safe place. And so our staff are safe with each other. It's a safe neighborhood, and it's just kind of like a quiet German town. It's easy to roam around without fear of violence or danger being in the community. And that can be an especially important factor for a lot of kids who may have grown up or spent a lot of their time in a place that's not safe. It's not safe for maybe especially some of the girls to be roaming the streets. Or it's not necessarily safe to kind of be outside the compound that you live in. Some families have been in really dangerous situations. And so for the kids to get to board and live in a setting where there's much more safety, it can be a reassuring thing for a lot of the families.
I would think for the parents too, yeah. just being able to visit and look and see, wow, this is a relatively safe place for my son or daughter to be, or my children to be when I'm so far away and can't be there or can't get there quickly. It's true that anytime you undertake kingdom work, there's an opportunity for the enemy to thwart God's plans and his purposes. Do you feel like there are special challenges in this work? You really are a home to kids whose parents are doing all kinds of work in all parts of the world. So, taking out one family can have a huge impact on a team around the world.
Yeah. And I would say probably the biggest potential, spiritual battle that we would see, that I would see, that I would recognize in our community would be complacency, the temptation towards complacency, because we live in an environment where we all kind of understand the same Christian language and same Christian background. It's easy to kind of rest on our laurels and just kind of, because we're all involved in mission, right? So it's easy to kind of just become, like I said, complacent and not focus really on our own spiritual development and what we need to be speaking to each other, how the gospel is something that we need to continually have in front of us.
Is there chapel? Are there special spiritual emphasis times over the course of the year?
Yeah, so we have a weekly chapel at the school. Every Friday there's a chapel that's the worship is led by students, and we'll have various chapel speakers. We have a spiritual emphasis week at the beginning of the school year, about 2 or 3 weeks into the school year, once kids have settled into it, that really kind of sets the tone for what are the things that we're going to focus on as a community in our own spiritual development. And then once a year in about end of February, early March, there will be a student retreat where we'll have a speaker come in from all over the world maybe, to, again, focus on how can we develop as a community especially, and how can we care for the students.
We have some special care to be taken. We have one more challenge. Doug, are you ready for us?
I do believe we are. All right. Can I get my last 3 teams up here, please? Yeah? Or yeah? How's that heartburn coming, buddy? Yeah, a little indigestion after that last challenge. Well, I'm going to be really kind. I think you guys are going to like this last one. It's a little bit slower paced, not as much running around, okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Oh, helps if I get your clues, huh? That's my bad. Contestants, welcome to your final challenge of the evening. Whoever wins this challenge gets to claim to be the Mac Amazing Race champions. Your final destination for this race is Israel. Upon arriving, you will each receive a box containing a puzzle with another country where we have missionaries. You will have to complete this puzzle. Upon completing that puzzle, the first team to complete it will be crowned the champions. At this point in time, go claim your puzzle. Now, I will say, there's a lot of blank space on these puzzles. Now, there's a smooth side and a rough side. I do believe smooth side up, just to help you guys out a little bit. Now, don't forget, there are 2 different red sections with a blue in the middle. I do believe our missionary helpers are maybe not so helping. Ooh, the friends are doing well. The trotties are real close. Where's the rest of it, guys? Are you missing a piece? Did you drop one? Where's it at? Where's the piece at? Are you guys missing a piece? Where's this other piece at? Where's it at? All right, you know what, guys? It may or may not be time to give them the last clue. Hey, Trotties. Hey, Trotties. You may or may not want to come back up here. There's one more challenge to complete. Yeah. No. All right. They may or may not have been in on this, helping me out. All right. I do believe it's time for part 2 of this challenge. You can hand them their envelopes, please. You can open your envelopes. Contestants, as you have noticed, you are missing the final piece of your puzzle. In order to receive this last piece, you need to complete the form that our missionaries have handed you. This is a test to see if you are paying attention to each of your destinations that you've been on during your global race. You must now match the national bird with its home country. Upon completing the form correctly, the missionaries will give you the final piece of the puzzle, and you will get to claim your well-earned and placed championship. Hey guys, there may be clues all around you. I know. It was great. Is it correct? Is it correct? And we have a winner. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. You got to admit, that was kind of fun, right? A little bit. Everybody have a good time? All right. Thank you guys. You guys are incredible. I appreciate it. Shrocks. So, after all of that, you know what you guys get? Your fedora. No, actually, I can't give this away. This isn't mine. I would love to give it to you, but I'm pretty sure somebody would make you pay for it. So, at this point in time, you guys get my gratitude and thanks. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Of course, you get a Globalocity gnome to take home.
Oh, all right.
A big thank you. If you didn't notice, Babs and Marshall Mullinex. Marshall was here with us 2 years ago to help judge the Shark Tank. They were both helping up here with this final challenge. Thanks for coming down to join us this evening. And our own Tim and Bev Wright missionaries in residence were helping with the language challenge. A huge thank you to them as well. Just a couple of questions before it's time for us to go. You are headed back into a different role as you head back. In addition to, I think, the role that you have on campus, you'll also be undertaking some member care work. Can you talk a little bit about what that's going to entail?
Yeah, so I will be returning to Black Forest Academy at a reduced role. I'll be about 50% of the role I was in before. I'll still provide counseling, I'll still provide consultation with the school, and I'll still supervise the other counselors who are at the school. In fact, I mean, the needs of the students doesn't stop. I'm here in the U.S. this year, but the needs continue on, and so this morning, for instance, every Friday I Skype in with one of the counselors there, and I was doing that this morning to talk about what some of the counseling needs at the school are. So I'll continue to be involved in those sorts of things. Member care is how we take care of the international workers that are stationed in our region. So in the Europe and Middle East region, my wife and I will be looking out for the care, the kind of the holistic care of the international workers that are throughout Europe and the Middle East.
That's a pretty big practice.
It is a pretty big practice. So there's a prayer request in that as we develop those relationships, that we're able to do that well. We'll go to different field forums. So every year, each field, every kind of country will gather at a different location than their regular field setting to debrief what they have been doing and to look forward to what they're going to be doing next. And my wife and I will come into those places, and we'll bring our kids too, so that they'll get to be a part of it. And we'll do a part of the personal debriefing, talking about how people are doing personally, looking at how they're doing maritally, and how they can continue to grow, and how they take care of themselves, and how they take care of each other as a team. So that's one of the major areas, and we'll also be involved in some Skype care, distance care, online online connections that we'll build with people. But we'll also host people. We have an apartment underneath our house that's a studio apartment that people can stay in for a period of time if they need some particular care. So a big prayer request in all of that would be that we develop those relationships well, that we're able to balance the different responsibilities that we have, that despite reduced roles at Black Forest Academy, that the care for the students will continue to go well, that we're able to meet the needs of the students. And that also for the Europe and Middle East region, we haven't had this role before, but it is a big role to start. So Steve and Mary Westergren, so Eric's parents have been doing that role out of Chiang Mai, Thailand, and they'll continue to do that. And they're really kind of the first ones to start that role. So, yeah.
Definitely, we will be praying along those lines for both you and the family, as well as Black Forest Academy overall, and the important work that happens there. We want to thank everybody for being here tonight. A huge thank you to Becky and Abby, who helped get everything set up today. Get the chicken so that it was here on time. Thank you very much. Big thank you to Henry Godfrey, our Globalocity gnome. He is available for pictures and autographs following our time together this evening. We had 4 entries into our global dessert challenge. Angela Martin, Jake Kirk, Catherine Hatton, and Tiffany McCarthy all entered delicious things for us. Our winner this evening with, you're going to have to help me again, Angela Martin with the Can you say it again? Nanaimo. I knew if you started, I might get it. So you too get a Globalocity gnome. And thank you all for coming. I know as we've had missionaries here in the past, one of the things that they share with us as they're coming or leaving is, wow, there were so many people involved, there were so many people who did things, and that is certainly true this evening, from participants to the planning crew, to the people who helped bring it all together, to the people who put together the fantastic promos for us. Jesse Anderson did a ton of work on the promos, so thank you to Jesse. And there will be a huge thank you if you can help us get things put back together so we're ready for Sunday morning. Thank you all for coming.